Hello. Hello. Okay. Today is being an interesting day. Some things are good, some things are not good, but I thought I'd do something different. Bear with me. What are you going to do, Chris? I'm going to tell you. First, I'm going to turn down the Beatles. All right. Okay. Today's music of choice is the Beatles. So I've got on the screen, blank, the two-pager from this weekend. This is a page I started on Friday from a one-page suggestion. Well, it was from prompts. This page is done from Dee Dee Willingham on her channel. Please go check it out. It has a bag, and in this magical bag, she has written on tons of little pieces of paper all kinds of suggestions. And so 6 of them went into this page. Usually it's 3. Today it is 6. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Luhan. Why am I always the first one here? Where's my trophy? There you go, sir. There you go.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, who likes pizza?
That's your trophy. All right. Yeah, maybe I should make a trophy. Like something, maybe I should do a carving of Polly. Okay, so I thought I'd do something different. Is Malcolm contesting for being the first one here? Let's check. Here's your trophy. Hold on. Here's your trophy, Malcolm.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, the other day I took a walk, and, that was good.
Okay, so, there, you guys both got a trophy today. Is that the robot from the black hole? Does the Pope poop in the woods? Yes, it's the robot from the black hole. It's one of them. That's Vincent. I've also got Bob and Maximilian and Star. If you know who those ones are, I'm really proud of you. Yeah, this is my action figure of Roddy McDowell. But I don't like the situation at all. See, that's my Roddy McDowell impression. It's hey, do that robot sounding like Christopher Walken. Beat you to it. Okay. There was a trophy. If I'd known, I would have spoken up sooner. Oh, for heaven's sake. Here we go. All right. Here's your trophy, Philip. Hey, soup, right? There's all kinds. All right, everybody's got a trophy today. Let's get serious, fellas. Come on now. All right. Okay, so this is the page that started on Friday with the little doodly-doo pictures. The originals, I'm going to post it still stuck on it that says all the prompts. Where's the camera? There's the camera. There's the prompts. So this is the all the drawings that we were doing starting on Friday. Whoops, that way. And that went over to a second page. Look at those teeth, huh? Look at them choppers. Okay. Hi, Chris. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the stream. Corbin, I'm talking to these guys. Corbin's looking at me like, what? You're not making any sense. So this is the page as it was finished. I did it as a 2-page comic because it was 6 prompts. So 3 prompts per page. Actually, that's not true. There's 4 on the second page. Well, we tried. So, and this has something to do with the random question that Jim asked on Friday of, hey, what are your phobias? So, that's what this is. And before that, on Friday, I posted hot sauce cat fight, and this was a suggestion by my niece, Caitlin. Yay, Caitlin. And so there's our cats doing their best physical engagement and then suffering the consequence afterwards. So there's, and then this is a page that I'll be posting later on today. Sneak peek. And this is similar in the vein of the music one and the horror one. Done a few different things. I'm not here for the trophies, Christopher. I'm here for the guns and huge amounts of cocaine. Montana. No classes today, so no going out. I can be here for some time. On the other days, I'm driving to work or in class. Well, I'm glad you're here, Chris. I'm glad you're here, Jim and Philip and Malcolm. Welcome aboard, everybody. So I have an idea. I was thinking that today we've got two. Now, if anybody wants to throw out suggestions, you're always welcome to do so. I put the little thing up at the beginning of it. Hey, if you got a one-page idea, shout it out. No one here is going to judge you. It can't be any more weird than some of the ones already done. Okay, almost no one does it. That's right. I type like my brain thinks. So, this is number 104. So, I was wondering, maybe we look at what we've done based on suggestions. What? Look at that pop up. So, un momento, s'il vous plaît. Hey, before we do that, why don't we do something else? Let's go to our sponsors. Get this out of the way. Let's go before I forget. We gotta put in our sponsors. Today's episode has been sponsored by the following: Bab's House of Fish. We stay open late just for the halibut. This is how I do it every day. Yeah. So there's our Bob's House of Fish sponsor, and then there's Fake Explosion, Fake Bands, the real music. You think you know music? You don't know nothing. And featuring the album by Jose Cabrera, You Know You Want It, It's Constipation. That's the excitement. I hope you enjoyed that. I never do that in camera, so it's all very exciting. Okay, so, I gotta get Bob's off there. What am I doing? Man, I'm really into that fish and chip place. Let me get some of this other jazz off. My computer crashed on the weekend and did not want to do what I wanted it to do anymore. So I had a lot of fun to do. Chris says, fish and whale. Sounds like a good idea for a short comic. All right, writing down. Writing down your suggestion, Chris. Chris Kalou. Fish and whales. Like sharks and jets. Okay, that's in the book. We'll be doing that this week. All right, so here is a little picture. Pile of pictures. And so this is the pages that we've done so far. And well, I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm just going to run through the first folder. And this is the earliest ones. This is before I really started, just before I started streaming. So here is Boys Will Be Boys. I'm telling you sincerely. And this is about, manipulation of information. My first page is about, how boys are the worst. That's the whole suggestion. She farts. And then we've got, so this is, the first page is marker. The second page is just marker. And then this one is, okay, it was on a marker bent. This is also marker. This is Point Counterpoint, a discussion program concerning today's issues. And they're talking about jelly beans. So, if there's anything that, if anybody sees anything along the way here that they think that I really need to make sure I put into this next volume of One Page Comic Extravaganza, let me know, and I'll make a note of that. One page comic idea, one panel, one image, one word. Hold on. Jim. One panel, one image, one word. That's a good one. I like that. All right. These are great ideas, gang. Keep them coming. Who knows? You might see stuff in here that makes you think of other things. So, okay. So this is point counterpoint. Just two people taking a contrary position, and then realizing that they're both sort of up to no good together. Then we've got Lord Reginald and his lads, and this is the centerpiece is in pencil crayon, and then the two side drawings is marker. It's just a little marker pens you buy at, like a dollar store or something like that. This is unit designated berry, and unit designated berry is stupid. The suggestion for this one was dead robot. So I wrote he died because he didn't rest, consume vegetables and proteins, or actively exercise. All right. Next page is the Jeffy Bezos. Now, this is really the first one that I did live streaming with everybody. This is the one that my grandkids and I were talking, and they talked about Jeffy Bezos. Liliana told me a joke about anyone can tune a piano, but no one can tune a fish. And then they started doing the Jeffy Bezos dance. So that's where that page came from. And that's just pencil drawing with digital color. This is the bad guys. Am I right? I can't remember where all the suggestions come from. So if you see one that you suggested, let me know. But bad guys is just a couple of bad dudes talking about what they're up to. And that's a mixed media page. And then I added additional mixed digital media. You can do it, Ethan. This suggestion is about Tom Cruise trying to open a jar of peanut butter. I think this might have been Malcolm. I'm trying to think of who it was that suggested this one, but this was fun. Why don't they leave us alone? This is just a silly page about people trying to what is this? People feeling like they're being stared at or something like that. I think it was. I can't remember. And this might be the first time I started signing things as Ron Seaman. Exciting times. Trying different ways of drawing a pencil crayon there on the same page, because I'm crafty. And this is the start of the 6-page piece with my grandkids. Martians plot against the Earth, but they fail miserably. The suggestion is from the grandkids. And so they were working with me in the studio on a PA day. And so we ended up doing a 6-page short story, blending all of our artwork together amongst the three of us. And this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this, and fun little things like jab. Their way of describing things is priceless. This is a typical grandpa joke right here. I don't think I'm enjoying this, but it's actually said by my grandson. And then somebody submitted a couple of panels. I think this was 7. 7 submitted a couple panels into this with us as well. So that was kind of good fun. And then there's the big finish, the kablooey. No more rings, no more Mars. So this is a 6-page. That was a 6-page, 1-page comic. This is the complex deep think. This is just an excuse to draw monkeys, really. I think it was. I can't remember what I think the suggestion was complex deep think. This is Jim Luan suggested this one. This is a Depeche Mode ping pong tantrum. And so that's who's responsible for this. I actually have a folder that sits on my hard drive that is all of the individual aspects that I made for each of these, like this page, and each of these little panels. And so I can actually, if I ever figure out and learn how to do so, I could actually animate this thing. But it's making fun of the starting of Master and Servant. So if you know that song, oh, thanks very much, Chris. That's very nice of you. If you know that song, Master and Servant, you'll get the reference. Just play it and read the page, and you'll see what it is. Hey, look out, Franklin Mapleton. Hi, Frank. Corbin, sit down here and just relax, would you? The cat's going nuts. This is Do Your Own Thing. And this is seniors getting up to it. So this is a bunch of pen drawings. These are ballpoint pen. I think the last page was computer. I entirely drew this in the computer. This I entirely drew with ballpoint pen and then some white ink afterwards. Frank, it's good to see you here, buddy. It's really good to see you, friend. I saw your new glasses. I got new glasses too. Hey, we're glasses buddies, practically twins. This is mixed media. The side page, it's all modulated surfaces, but the left side is white pen on a bunch of different color and some stamps, and then you got ballpoint pen, red ballpoint pen on pink paper, and then we got paints on the other side. It's just ridiculous. There's just too many mediums in here to figure out what's going on. But you can see how everything is signed Run C Man at this point. Oh, it's very nice of you, Frank. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We're just going through the first 100 one pages we've done since the start of the year together. This is It Strikes Like a Bolt of Lightning. The suggestion was, I'm trying to think if this was a guy explodes. A guy has an explosive release or something like that. I'm less stressed out now that I've glasses again. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. See, this is when I was still writing suggestions on pieces of paper as opposed to in one book. So I'm trying to remember what they all are. This is pencil crayon, and this is a fish challenge. It's nonstop fish jokes. I need to get this under control, but once I start on, it's just sit down. Sorry, I'm arguing with the cat. It's just nonstop fish jokes. Once I get going, I can't help myself. Okay. This is blue pencil crayon on blue paper with some white highlights. And this is about a woman that turns into a dragon. These two pages are actually, I used characters from my Elmwood, the dragon page and the lightning page. I used characters from my Elmwood books that I did, that I'm going to be finishing Elmwood this year. I'm going back to it. I'm going to finish that series off. Just do one large book to do it. So buckle up. That's upcoming news. Okay, Chris says that she likes the colors in the fish challenge. Oh, that's really nice. Thanks, Chris. Is that my grandson? Frank asks in this comic. No, it's not. If anything, I was thinking it looks a little bit like Josh Holm from Queens of the Stone Age. But it's not my grandson. Kind of looks like him though. I think it might have been one of my sons. I don't remember. Anyways, this is the UFO drag race. So this is again a completely different take on this. This is graphite ink and whatnot on paper, scanned, put into the computer, really bumped, with a little photo manipulation in here, but really bumped. This is when I'm starting to learn, hey, there's effects that you can do in Photoshop. Tragic that it took me this long to figure it out. This is where you're seeing some spatter on the planes and things like that now. But this was fun. I hand drew the film pieces, the film strips, which is, I know not to do that now. This is ballpoint and a little bit of photo manipulation at the end, but this is Christopher Walken ordering a beer and drinking it. It's crazy. It's out of control. So I wrote this when I did this page. I hear these voices in my head as I'm writing the script. So what can I get for you, Mr. Walken? Because if you've seen The Shining, that's what that guy sounds like. So, fella, this place reminds me of a movie. I don't suppose you have any beer. Of course, sir. Would you like a lager? Lager. Sure. Yeah, that's my ridiculous. Okay, so I'll probably come back to this in a minute just to have Chris Walken dancing somewhere at some point in another page. But in the interim, I just left it with to be continued. So it's just nonsense. But this was a fun one to do. I drew this on craft paper, a heavy cardstock craft paper. This is entirely photo manipulation. And this was suggested about, can I do a collage? No drawing, just a collage page. And so I did the Chuck Norris Fashion Action Show. And it's strange, but this page took me just as long as it did for a page I would draw, because it's not something I normally do. Like Christopher Walken dancing. Yeah, so this is Chuck Norris actually had a line of pants in the 1970s, and so I picture him having a fashion show and beating up all the other models because it's Chuck Norris and he does things. And I got Howard Cosell, and I'm Howie, he's that guy, and this is this is a Sam the Private Eye. Sam the Private Eye, I have 3 of these in the book I put out last year, one-page comic extravaganza. By the way, I have fixed my website so that people can order off of my website now. So anybody that's wanting a hard copy of one of the books themselves, just let me know. I'm pleased. It's been 2 years of fighting with a website provider for it to just work properly. But this page stars characters from Sam the Private Eye, my Sam the Private Eye character. But then I've also got Paul Pate is in here, Jim Lujan is in here, and the 2 Men in Black from Gary Hodges' book, DVSM. Gary is waiting for copies of his DVSM book number 3 to get in right now. Very exciting time. So please pay attention for when Gary's book comes out, because those are fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed some stuff. Did I miss stuff? Chris, oh, here we are. Frankly says, just got an idea looking at Christopher Walken holding the logger. It looked like there was a worm, and now I have an idea. Will I be charged in loonies? Will you be charged what? Oh, for buying Gary's book or for buying my book? You'll be charged in digital monies unless you want to send cash in the mail. But yeah, Frank, let me know if you're interested in something. When I set it up, it actually tells me people can do a payment plan for anything, which is fun. I didn't know that was set up. So this was fun to do. It's got all these guest appearances in it, like Mr. Paul Pate and Mr. Jim Lujan. So this is drawn in dipping ink and ink washes. Hey, Rachel, how are you? Oh, yeah. You don't have to pay in Canadian monies. You can pay in the digital monies. It'll tell you what it is, American as opposed to Canadian. But thanks for asking, Frank. All right. Next page is The Devil's in the Details. This is a whole bunch of media in here. This is suggesting, I think it was Malcolm again, that your roommate is literally the devil. So I made the devil Brad Pitt. You know. This is watercolor and pencil crayon. And this is suggested by my father-in-law, John Westerchirp. And yeah, I'm really happy to have done this page. If John asked me to do a comic page about anything, I will do it in a heartbeat. His suggestion for this one was the balloon. Do that balloon in the news. So I did. So there's 2 versions of this. We're going to do this one, by the way, as a, this is one of the ones that we're recording as a one-page comic extravaganza story time. So Frank says, I'm interested in this woman I met online, but I don't think you can help with that. I don't think I can, Frank. Rachel likes the overflowing sink dishes. Devil in the detail. Oh, yeah. You're going to have your sink stacked up and for whatever reason, teapots on top of your piano. So this is mixed media. We'll be recording this as one of our shorts where I read the pages, because this is 2 storylines. There's the actual reporting of the events leading up to them blowing up the balloon. And then the other part of it is lyrics from My Beautiful, My Beautiful. And so if you read this page while listening to that song, Would you like to ride? You know, it's actually the lyrics from My Beautiful. My beautiful, my beautiful. Anyways. Rachel loves Joe Biden. Frank says that Brad Pitt is devilishly good looking, so it fits. I'm going to start that, Frank. Okay, so this page is somebody opens up a coffee shop on Mars. The first person to open a coffee shop on Mars. And so in this case, I had it as literally the first person on Mars. You know, hey, we were just talking about laundry, Philip. Oh, no, we were talking about dishes. That's what we were talking about. Welcome back, sir. So this is the first person to open up a coffee shop on Mars. And again, if you see a page that you suggested, let us know, because I really want to make sure I thank everybody for their suggestions, because it's a lot of fun, the interaction. Okay, this is drawn in black ink and some white ink for the typewriter and the moon, and then digitally having Zipatone put down. Duty calls at the most inopportune times, Philip. I was looking at a mini washing machine bucket and thinking of you. It's romantic. The coffee shop one was Philip's. Hey! Excellent. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, sir. Okay, so this is a fun one. Oopsie daisy. This is again, if it was you that suggested it, I think this is well, this might have been Dee Dee that said a one word misspelled leads to a whole calamity. And it's supposed to be watch out for bombs, but it comes out as watch out for bums. So, of course, they all get blowed up. Blowed up real good. This is Fight Shot. The suggestion is, the capturing of a moment and, from perspectives, like our perspective versus their perspective. And this is all kinds of mixed media. There's pencil in there. There's ink in there. I drew some of it digitally. There's tape. That's the green little blotches that you see throughout the images, because it was drawn on red paper. But then there's these green blotches of masking tape on the pages. And then now I have figured out how to digitally do that. So, okay. Well, Frank, I tried to list off the people that made suggestions in the last book. So I'll be listing off people that made suggestions for the next one. Just as whatever your email is, because I'm not writing everybody's names down. It'll take too long. It'll take forever. That, and I can't remember half of them. This is vampires. That's all this is. It's all mixed media. There's all kinds of different material at use here and different approaches at use here. But yeah, Frank, I'd love to give you some co-writing credit there. Yeah, so this is fun. This one is advice on dental care from vampires. Who better to tell you about how to take care of your teeth, right? Okay, this is a dragon rethinking their life choices. And just as me playing with different medium, including on canvas and pencil crayon and whatever else. But pretty silly fun. I didn't like how the colors on the canvas are so opaque. So, I have to figure out how to figure that out better next time. Next one is Molly Shannon. This is hats off to Molly. This is her Sally O'Malley, and I'm 50 years young. This is such a fantastic character. If you get a chance to look up Sally O'Malley, please do so. Frank thinks that the dragon suggestion was his. Hey, awesome. Thanks, Frank. There you go, buddy. Look what you did. So there's our Sally O'Malley, and this is, I think I drew this digitally, and I think all the manip was digital as well. Okay, this is pencil and ink on white paper and then colored afterwards. This one is Gary Hodges, I think, suggested this, which is proto-Babylonian person who's really proud of himself and his invention of the ruler. I think so. Anyways, I did it from the perspective of an archaeologist talking about this big find that he's made, and about Sarian. I think it was Sugarian. See what I did there? That's Sugarian the First. Thanks, Gary. This is Barney. This is, I think, Chad LeDuc suggested this from Tardigrade Press. I think this one is Barney in Rehab. What is this? Rachel says, remarkable how that Babylonian looks like me. Looks like me? What are you talking about? Yeah, the big nose, I guess. So I did the Barney as the Barney that you see on TV, and then the Barney in reality, the actor Barney, so that when you see him on television, he's the cartoon, but himself is an actual performer. They're actual dinosaurs. So that was fun to draw. This is Richard Simmons meets the Cheshire Cat, I think. I think that's what this one is. And I know it's a little racy because I said the word buns in it. Okay, and then I think that's the first appearance of Corbin on one of these pages. Buckle up, it's going to happen some more. This is a promo that I did, a one-page promo starring Bob and Doug. And then I managed to incorporate my name in the middle as a shout-out from Doug McKenzie. Take off. The purple dinosaur in the last page looked like Jim Lujan. Chris says, the inventor of the ruler. Janet M. Young has to know who that is. And then Frank's comment is, the purple dinosaur looks like Jim Lujan. Oh, you guys are maniacs. This page is called Riot. The suggestion is, the viewpoint of the mainstream, the media, those that are in control and power, is that the kids are out of control. So this is a fun one. And there's all kinds of different things I've got in here. I've got photo manipulation. I've got marker drawn just in a dying Sharpie, and a little bit of yellow marker down there at the bottom. And then a lot of, this is where I start figuring out, I really start utilizing effects in Photoshop. So this is a bridesmaid after the bouquet. I can't remember who suggested this. It's a fun one. But this is a bridesmaid after the bouquet. And so I tried to do it in a kind of a really minimal kind of way, but at the same time, focusing the only real defined image in here truly is the bouquet. And I presented my wife with those flowers. A whole new media, the dying Sharpie. Hey, there's a lot you can do with dying Sharpies. Like, see the fun sort of, you can see that strong black line around the lips because, there's clearly more applied pressure there. But then these nice gray tones that you can get for doing shading, and it's just because that's how it goes. That's how the Sharpie enacts depending on pressure as it's giving up the ghost. I think I used like 3 dying to dead Sharpies in this, so there's really grayed out values like in the background up in the top here, and that I think marker was immediately done after that. So bridesmaid bouquet fight. This is imperfect but inevitable, I believe was the suggestion for this one. And Chris is watching too. So yeah, Janet M. Young is doing hers right now too. Philip says half-dried markers were great for hair when I did caricatures. Oh yeah, Philip used to do caricatures. If I'm not mistaken, Philip's at the CNE. Rachel snuck out of Janet's stream. I don't want to get in trouble, Rachel. And Chris says, I love mushrooms and watercolor. Yeah, I was watching her watercolor. She's starting to do her watercolor work, and Rachel says something to me like, "Oh my god, can I go do my stream?" This is entirely drawn in just a green and a red marker. So, and then of course being able to put it onto the paper, the yellow framing in the back, and carrying those values over for the text sort of ties it together. This is heavenly. This is a Luan suggestion, and Jim's suggestions are always, let me see, David Bowie, Rasputin, and Joan Crawford go out for burritos together, a giant burrito together. Philip says, close. I was close. It wasn't CNE. It was Ontario Place in the early 2000s, back in the day when it was a fun place. Is it still there? It's still there, I think. This page is ballpoint pen, and then photo manipulation or digital things. Like I figured out how to do space. Okay, so this page is digitally drawn, and then there's an embedded image in here with the Sasquatch. But this is Urban Sasquatch Hunters, and I think this is a Malcolm one. So this is a bunch of college types going around looking for Sasquatches in the downtown of a city. Frank says, "Rah rah Rasputin." Those were the days, my friend. Yeah, the Ontario place was really nice, but it's you drive by it now, and it looks kind of like a park, but I don't know. Oh, Philip says it's still an operational park. Chris is going to try to color mermaids for this month. One full mermaid coloring book to use. Almost new. Get it. You take that coloring book and fill it up. I'd love to see it. You're really good at coloring. So mushroom art will wait till June. Yeah. I need to draw a mimic for today. What is a mimic, frankly? Okay, so the next page is Werner Herzog is asked to host a fashion pageant. So this is another one that we've got tagged to record for the one-page comic extravaganza story time. And this was suggested by a cat in a toque. So this is this is a good evening. My name is Werner Herzog. Yeah, so this is going to be a fun one to read. Because it's absurd. Ontario Place is basically a place for rich people to park boats, but there is plans to revitalize it. There's some controversy now because Ford wants to move the Science Center there. Oh, that'd be cool. I think. I don't know. Yeah, who cares about rich people? Put the Science Center there. Okay, so this is the first one like I showed you for today, the one I did of writers. This is the first one that I couldn't remember. This is directors. And these are quotes. So that's Guillermo del Toro, John Carpenter, Stanley Kubrick, Wes Craven, Alfred Hitchcock, and Tobe Hooper, who did Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not really a horror guy, but, it's... thanks, Adam. Yeah, Adam says he loves the Herzog one. Excellent. But I'm not a horror guy, but I like the fact that many of these directors' approaches to horror is very different than others. And of course, with Wes Craven and Tobe Hooper and then Carpenter, I mean, all these things that have been made off the backs of their creativity since is quite diluted from the strangeness, newness of how they approached it. So Rachel almost tasted the same thing as Philip. Jinx, you owe each other a beer. That's what you do. I do not like horror movies. So this is another one. This is the horror mixed media sketch cards that I drew and matting those into a page. And so I list who all the people are in these when I post these. And I'm going to post the writer's one after the stream today. The purple one down in the bottom. The purple one is Griselda the Gourmet. And if you know who Griselda the Gourmet is, I like you very much. Griselda is possibly the greatest witch character ever invented. So, if you don't know who Griselda is, look her up. Woo! You're going to love her. Okay, Frankly says, a mimic
A mimic is a creature in RPG games like Dungeons and Dragons. They're usually portrayed as a treasure chest, but it's really a monster that will eat you. They can take other forms. They mimic objects. I hope you get the voiceover right for the mimic. Good for you, Philip. I like you, Philip. You gotta know who Griselda is if you're in Ontario, that's for sure. Hilarious House of Frankenstein. Only Gen X's from Canada will know who it is. What? No. More people than that. It's Griselda from Hansel and Gretel. No. Hilarious House of Frankenstein. Look it up. It's a TV show put together by Billy Van. The sketch bits, are prefaced by little poetic introductions made by Vincent Price. Okay, so this is just graphite on white paper. This is famous boxing matches that didn't happen in history. And this is Laura Secord versus Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This feels like a Jim Luhani suggestion. But yeah, I put if you're the one that suggests this, please let me know, because this one was a lot of fun. Laura Secord, Paul Pate sent me a post about Laura Secord, and that he never knew who Laura Secord was. So my comic pages are entertaining and informing. Billy Van would be delighted to be compared to Hansel and Gretel. That's true. That's true. This is the Salt and Pepper Showdown. This is white and black ink on craft paper with heavy photomanipulation. This is where I figured out. This is where I start doing a lot of manipulation stuff. Hey, it's Gary Hodges. Hi, Gary. What is it? Do a YouTube search for Griselda. Yes, please do. Griselda the Gourmet. It's also Billy Van, by the way. He plays most of the characters in the Hilarious House of Frankenstein. Rachel will only be drawing. It's Mimic Day. But he says, hey, Gary. So this is a Salt and Pepper Showdown. This was suggested by a fella nearby, Joseph McKay Barker. And this is a lot of fun to do. The Salt and Pepper, the Salt Sheriff and the Pepper Bad Guy. Ridiculous. So this is a spicy fight. This is the Universal Family meets the Brady Bunch, I think it was, or something like that. The Universal Family has the Brady Bunch theme. And so it literally is a page where, Philip says, I like the sepia tone on the Western piece. That's the craft paper that I draw, and I was going to work on craft paper after this. Rachel says, I thought it was Senior Citizen Showdown with walkers and wheelchairs. Next one page. Okay. All right, I'll write it down. That's a good one. Senior Citizen Showdown. Showdown with walkers and wheelchairs. When I first got sick a while ago when I was 28, I needed to use a cane for a while. And because of my height, I've never got rid of that cane just in case. So I got a reference there. Rachel always has fun one-page suggestions. There's one I was actually going to do one for off of Rachel's. It was either going to be today or tomorrow. It's a newspaper editor choosing a lead story. What do we got? I'm missing stuff. I'm sorry if I am. I'm trying to keep up. Call it Salt and Pepper 2. Electric Boogaloo. Anyways, I'm actually describing the Brady Bunch show. I'm just using the Universal monsters in their house and the interior setting of the Brady Bunch house and all that. I'm just combining the two together, but I'm using Universal monsters for the Brady Bunch characters. This is Courtney Saves the Day. This suggestion is Courtney Cox stops the Kennedy assassination. I'm pretty sure that's Jim. This one's fun. This is marker for Courtney and pencil crayon for Kennedy. And the Zapruder film is tossed in there for good measure. How can you do it without it? This is fish on a pizza pie. So this is a gray alcohol-based marker, black pen, Fodenisuke pen, and on white paper. And it's just nonsensical silliness, of course, you know. That one was mine. The Brady Monsters was Frankly. Hey, that was a fun suggestion, Frankly. I really like that one. That was a lot of fun to do. Why not? JFK would approve of Courtney Cox stopping him from being assassinated. This has the Sopranos in it. Fish on a pizza pie. I put one of the Soprano guys in it. Okay, this is suggested by a good friend of mine that lives here locally, Dennis. Dennis, I always get a kick out of Dennis because every time I talk to him, the first thing he always says is, "Oh, hey, gang." It's just the two of us talking. This is Hercules. It's Hercules, but he's really irresponsible. So, yeah. So this one was fun. This is a lot of fun. This is brown pencil on paper, and then all the color and stuff is done digitally. This is the Food Trucks for Cannibals. I think this is another one suggested by Salty Snacks. And with the suggestion of these ideas like Food Trucks for Cannibals, all of this crazy dialogue is me, right? Like, so the tricky part. Oh, there we go. Frankly, look at that one. The tricky part with your suggestions is I guess you kind of don't know what you're going to get. The only Hercules I can recall, says Chris, is Kevin Sorbo. I met Kevin Sorbo. He was a guest at a convention that we have here in London, and I'm the art director for the London Comic Con here, so I get to meet a lot of the talent. And I met Kevin Sorbo, and my wife saw me talking to Kevin Sorbo, and as we, and he walked one way and I walked the other one, and my wife just walks up to me and goes, "My husband is taller than Hercules." Yeah, but I'm not as muscular, and I haven't captained a spaceship. It's Kevin Sorbo Deep Dive. This is looking for a viable time-space pod. This is a multi-page piece. It was originally 5-6 pages, and Salty says, "I do recall this one." That was really high. I think it was you, buddy. This one is about the whole suggestion is the title, looking for a viable time-space pod, and the rest of it is just me having a time traveler who's trying to get his little doodad in his hand to charge up so he can make a space bubble appear and get out of there. And he's been chased by some gangsters in the 1930s. And so it was a 4-page piece, and I cut it down into 2 pages. 4 pages I drew on, and 2 pages at the end of it all. So, and then of course it ends with him in a really awkward predicament. Foreshadowing. Has anybody seen 65 yet? Hey, there we go. Andromeda reference. Side issues. Have they moved Comic-Con to London permanently? No, London has its own Comic-Con, London Comic Con. We've had it for 7 years, I think now. Steve Reeves, an old Steve Reeves movie. Yeah. I like the Hercules Xena shows. They were fun. Yeah, they really were. They really were. The guy who plays Joxer on that show is a friend of mine. It's we might be working on a project together, so that's kind of fun. If you know who it is, don't say their name out loud, because I shouldn't have told you that much. This one is called Hey Kids Comics. It's drawn in ballpoint pen, and then all of the other effects are put in. So this is now I got a handle on doing effects in Photoshop. So this is all put in Photoshop. And the suggestion for this was kids. when kids look at the adverts in the back of comics, they can get superpowers, I think. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Philip. One of them is very small. And very small and local. And the other one is an actual con, like a full-size con. So, not to say that the local one's bad. It's not. It's just they're very different. Two very different types of shows. And so they both do their own thing. But if you're a Comic Con is a whole separate thing than a con, just a comic convention. Comic Con is with all the celebrities and all the, the nonsense, all the palaver. So this is if wishes were horses, and I think this came from it's fun. It's a fun one, but was Steve Reeves the one who saved the dog, called him friend in one of those black and white movies? Steve Reeves ones are the really old ones, frankly. And then, of course, there's the ones that, as Philip was saying, a lot of Gen Xers would know, and that's the one that was Hercules, the cartoon one in the 1960s, 70s. If wishes were horses, then beggars would ride, I think was a suggestion for this one from Gary Hodges. So this one was a lot of fun to do, to make this glowing horse appear in an alleyway. Wishes were horses was one of mine. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Frankly thinks he suggested the Comic Kids one. Super cool. Super cool. This one was a lot of fun to do too. This is where I'm starting to feel really good, fellas, about working, fellas and ladies, about working in Photoshop finally. So Rachel says, "What? Why did I guess that, Gary?" It's a very Gary idea. A lot of fun to do these. This one is suggested by Married to a Creative, and this is from getting the title of a TV show wrong because of exhaustion. So it was supposed to be Remarriage and Desires, but was read as Remarriage and Dishes. And yeah, let's just go with that. So enjoy the mistakes. Find somebody that gets you for making all the blunders that you do. This is Orange Like a Fake Tan in a Bottle. And this is a lot of fun to do. This was one of those ones where, I had my own little silly insert moment here, but this was painted. This was entirely painted on a board. So, have you seen the Winky Knocks? Anyways, silly bit. Does anybody remember who suggested this? What is that? Gary frankly says, I remember having an idea. For what? Which one are we talking about? Because I'm trying to keep up in my own. I can't keep up in my own head. Typos can be so much fun. Yeah. Oh yeah. You betcha they can. Okay, so this is Fishy Flat Earth's Fantastic Finale. The suggestion for this one was a comic entirely seen through a fish-eyed lens. When you look through a peephole on a door, that's a fish-eyed lens. So that makes it so that you can see a larger space around you in the hallway. So I had this entire story being told by a person looking through the peephole on their door at their weirdo neighbor on the flat Earth that's just about to blow up. So this was a fun one. I tried a whole bunch of different things here, like definitely a different approach to the storytelling format, and yet still following the conventions of left to right. Okay, so this is a 2-page piece. This is about war. I don't remember the suggestion. If anybody remembers the suggestion for what is it good for, absolutely nothing. Let me know. So there's the first part, and there's the second. I think it has something to do with Ukraine war or with Risk or something. I can't. I'm trying to remember a lot of pages here. War. Or I said it at the end. This is the humpback whale is actually a vessel from that brought us here from outer space, and now they want to go back or something like that. I can't remember. Oh, frankly, said he had an idea for the comics page, but he kept it to himself so I could do whatever I wanted. I would have done whatever I wanted anyways. And why? Largely because my mind is weird and scary. Oh, and thank you for the other part, Rachel. Yeah, I whatever the suggestion is, I'm not right now. I'm not going by a script, so you can only get so much out in a couple of sentences, right? So it tends to be, no matter what, whenever a suggestion does come along, I tend to turn it sideways. It's not that I'm going to do it my way. No, it's just that, as Rachel says, my mind is weird and scary. This is alone. A person wakes up on a spaceship alone, out in the space, on an alien spaceship, completely by themselves. And this one was painted digitally. Okay, this is the first three prompt suggestion. The suggestion was cowboy, ladybug, lizard. Or no, cowboy, lizard. Yeah, maybe it was just cowboy, lizard, bug. Anyways, I did a ladybug, but this one was fun. And so we were talking at the time. Dee Dee was on the stream with me, and for guest as our guest this episode, and so Dee Dee was drawing a portrait of Mr. Rogers, and I think Rachel was saying, "Make the bug look like Mr. Rogers," or "Make the lizard look like Mr. Rogers," and instead I did the bug. The alien reflection is more like your perception. That might be true. I've been doing my best since I came to this planet. Frank likes the Fred Rogers ladybug. So when you read this, I hope you read it as, "It's a beautiful day in the..." Hi, you're new. Okay, I can see that we don't speak the same language. I hope you read it that way. I really do. I hope you read it like Fred Rogers would. Somebody informed me that what would happen next on this page is probably a really bad thing, but because the cowboy is trying to, okay, get something to eat, let's go. This suggestion came from one of our followers. I think his name was Blake. And it is everything gets older. The suggestion is Halloween 58. How would Mike Myers be in the 50th franchise episode of the Halloween series? And so I've got him trying to figure out where he left his knife, because it's Halloween. He's got all these kids coming to his house. They're easy prey. But he can never find it. And of course, I reveal where it is at the end. This is where I learned to do cover holds. Rachel says she read this page as with Fred Rogers in her mind. That's fantastic. Yeah, I've learned to do color holds now so that I can turn lines blue or brown or whatever I need them to be, instead of everything having to be black or white. This page is called "It's Always Us." It's where we go into space and find out that what we discover, something about the first aliens that we meet in outer space ends up being us. That's what this page is. And it's a 2-pager, I believe. So this is just pencil on paper. And then color at the end. The color in the last panel. But this one was a lot of fun. So by the time he arrives to a planet, there it is. There's a big human space city. It's always us. Nobody thought about these poor guys that were flying slowly. The idea is that, as technology improves, the ships go by faster, and so of course later ship designs will be whizzing by the first ships that left. Know one thing to be true. This is something about, I'm trying to remember, this is something about supernatural, belief in the supernatural, or something about ghosts. I can't remember. If this is your suggestion, let me know, please. I'm trying not to do anybody disservice by not remembering the exact suggestions, but I didn't. Like I said, I haven't written all of them down. So, but this is. And by the way, if you let me know, when you're suggesting stuff, I'll. Oh, good to see you, Chris. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you around. That way, I want to get everybody, referred to in when we finally do the book. This is Post-it and tape and whatnot on the paper as I'm doing mixed media, ballpoint pen, white pen, white ink. But this is a fun one to do. A man walks into a bar, suggested by Jukebox. Jukebox Racket, which is a fellow here in town. This was a 6-page piece that I think I cut down to 3 or 4. And so it's about a guy who goes to a bar where he meets, a god / an alien, whichever it is. So it's a bit of a fun one. You'll see this in a bunch of my pages. Whenever somebody is confronted by something weird, I like to draw people taking a picture of it. I don't, just because that's what some people would do. As soon as something weird happens in front of them, like, all right, I'm gonna take a shot of it. That's awesome. So this is, there's page 3 and page 4. It goes poorly on page 4, and then the most lame spaceship blast off to outer space in the form of a bar that you've ever seen. I was having a good day. Well, that's that. If you read narrator panels like this, well, that's that. You can imagine that's me saying it. You can imagine that's me. This is Rock and Roll Librarians. If you're one of the person that suggested this, let me know. All the names for the librarians are my aunts. They're some of my aunts. Oh, Philip, I'm sorry to hear it. I'm glad you're back. These are my aunts, Pauline, Dorothy, Marion, and June. So, this is a lot of fun. The idea that when you ask for a book from the library, then the ladies are going to come around on roller derby skates and go and get it. Philip says, that one was hilarious. I don't remember the one with the house blasting off. Well, sometimes, so on Facebook and Instagram, unless I say this is 4 pages long, you might not look for the little arrow symbol that's on the side of the post for you to know to flick through it and see how many pages it is. So I'm not sure if this is I posted this one as 4. I think I couldn't post this as 4. I posted it and it was all on my Patreon for sure, but I think I was getting a hassle from Instagram about how big it was. This is Citadel at the End of Time. Frankly, you suggested the librarian one as a fun suggestion. And then Rachel says, would that not be the best in any conventional library? I think that you'd see a lot more libraries still open if you had something so nominal as librarians flying around in roller derby outfits. You got to figure a lot of people will be knocked over with books, though. A lot of nerds are getting knocked over. Like me, usually with the largest, heaviest art books I can carry. Citadel at the End of Time, so I did multiple versions of the same Citadel, multiple versions of the same person that lives inside of it. And then, of course, the joke is she didn't think herself, she had no one to talk to about herself. She didn't think she was very interesting. The only thing that all of the different versions of her enjoy is to hang their arms out of a window. Yeah, I got some weird ideas. Focal point. This is a car that crashes into anything that looks like a target, was the suggestion. I'm not sure whose this was. Yeah, all roller derby events should be held in conventional libraries as a fundraising event. Have it as a fundraising event. I'm not sure who suggested the car that crashes into anything that looks like a target, but this one's a lot of fun to do. This is pencil and drawn in pencil and then photo manipulation and coloring in the computer. And so this is there's a part 2 to this, but right now we've just posted the part 1. I think I have focal point part 2 coming up. This is a 3 prompt page. This is 3 prompts pulled out of a bag. The 3 prompts were airplane, kangaroo, and pyramid. And it's a real leap to realize that that's what it is, because I turned a kangaroo into an Australian superhero called the Australian Roma. He's very awesome. And then this entire page is written as though it's a book report by a 5-year-old. Dad said he said it was not a bother at all. Yeah. So Matty Wilkins, Form 3, Year 5. So he's in grade 5. This was a lot of fun. And this is clearly a color hold to make the whole thing blue from a black and white drawing. And then photo manip. This is the first page of what is now a 26-page book. This was 2 kids walking to, this is suggested by Married to a Creative. This is 2 kids going to see a haunted house in the woods. And so this is this quickly became the first page of a village haunted book that I've done. So that's 26 pages now. And I'm putting it up on, I'm right now working out putting it up on a webisode channel. So it'll be coming out page every week. The most sarcastic man in the world. So this is 2 suggestions. I can't remember who suggested the first page, like the principal idea. Somehow you need to do voiceovers attached to your strips, become a whole new thing. The first one, there's 2 on my YouTube right now. The first one is a comedian becomes the thing he hates the most, a clown. And then the second one, which I just posted up, I think last week, is Bella Lugosi. Bella rocks. Gary says, I think I suggested part of the sarcasm one. Okay, so Gary suggested the most sarcastic man in the world. And then as my son saw this, he said to me, Dad, you need to do this. You need to do that page again, but with the opposite viewpoint. So I did a whole new dialogue for another page where he literally says the opposite of what he said the first time. And it's fun. This is a really fun thing to do. But I really love the idea of the most sarcastic man in the world. And you're not sure what he believes or what he doesn't believe. So here I've covered both sides of the political spectrum there. This, I think Rachel suggested this. This is a kid trying to order at one of the robot ordering queues in McDonald's. McDonald's. That's how Donna Michi said it. So this is how my brain works, by the way, folks. They just get so dumbstruck standing in front of the ordering kiosk. What's going on? They just drift off. It's because, people that have these minds that take flights of fancy, I'm not saying that this is how crazy I am. I'm just saying that that's the whole notion of, you tell me one thing and my brain goes, oh, what if it was made out of cheese? So, yeah, this is this page actually kind of explains how my creative process works. And then there's, of course, the guy at the end. No more does the sport of curling find it necessary to use the rocks of yesterday. This is Dee Willingham's suggestion of cats curling down the ice. I'm sorry, I stuck that up there. So this is drawn in pencil on white paper and then manipulated all together. And so, yeah, that's just curlers use cats instead of rocks in the game of curling. Make it a lot more interesting. And the second team feline athletes are here. Mr. Poopers, Snuggles, Rudabaugh, and Captain Pickles. And this thing is told from the perspective of commentator and these 2 ladies that are in their seats watching the game. Peacock in a barbershop. This is... I don't know who suggested this one. But this is such a fun statement. Peacock in a barbershop. And so I got to... bro guys here that decided that in order to drum up some business in their barbershop, they're going to have a peacock in there with you. And then there's an old traditional barber down below saying, stick to the old ways of doing things. Now sit down, hippie. So this is drawn digitally. Teenage Temper Tantrum. This was a fun one to do. This is the devil admitting that he was wrong about the whole rebelling thing, I think is what this one was. So I have him as the disrespectful child and trying to talk to dad, and it ending with, "You never listen to my side. I'll be in my room." If you've ever had a teenager, yep. Okay, this is the Bee Gees, but the page is do not borrow money from the wishing well. Those guys are djinns, I think is the suggestion. So for whatever reason in my head, I wanted to draw the Bee Gees. Interesting, that one is in black and white. Which one is that? This one? This is a lot of fun. This is drawn in pencil, and then all of the rest of it, the manipulation stuff, is in is maintaining that gray line, that black and white format. I suppose it could be colored. It's just I kind of enjoyed working in this format. I mean, just sticking to the neutrals without worrying about all the color in it. I like this process a lot, and I think I might want to do more of it. I find it works really quickly, and when you don't have to make all those decisions about color choices, you know. So which one are you talking about? This one? You mean this one, Philip? Because again, this is the same approach. Or is there another black and white? Oh, I think that's the two. All right. So this, anyways, I decided to do the Bee Gees and to take the Staying Alive song and have it be a commercial for Wishing Well Moneylenders. And there's the little dancing character for the Wishing Well company. It's clearly a djinn. Or a genie. It's also called the genie. This is a page about Rachmaninoff. Somebody just said you should do a page about Rachmaninoff. The Teenage Temper Tantrum. Yeah, that's one we were talking about the same one. It's just I kind of enjoy working in that format. Rachmaninoff is drawn in Kodenosuke pen and on white paper, and then I put the green background to it and white highlights on it just to give it a little more depth, and with some day glow dots everywhere. So this was a fun one to do. Resurrected for the Holidays is I cannot remember who suggested this. I'm sorry, but starring Dr. Corbell Johansson. The suggestion here was Elvis resurrected for the holidays. So this mad science character is going to reappear again, but he's my crazy scientist that you'll know it's him when you see any page where crazy guy glasses shouts science. So he's in one of the future ones that are coming up as well. I think the one about rocks. Oh, rocks are interesting. I think it's also Dr. Corbell Johansson. This is a 3-prompt page. It is unicorn, mermaid, and fence. So why not have a mermaid and a unicorn talk over a fence? And then I cannot remember which one of the people suggested do it as a reverse mermaid. So of course I did. Love the idea of a reverse mermaid who is offended because this curvy unicorn is trying to watch him sunbathe. And then if you read this, I do recommend you read it as, I sure do love me some grass. Paperback writer anonymously suggested this one. Thanks, Mike. Novelist, romance writer, paperback writer. And so this is me making a riff on romance novels, and realizing that you write from what you know. I know, murder mystery. I'm wired wrong. This is again a pencil crayon or a white black pencil one that's then put in and with some color and stuff to it. This is horses driving in a hearse. Horses in a hearse, I think it was the suggestion. Now, boys, I want you to listen here. So there we go. Extreme stereotypical accent there. There are multiple Earths. Oh, it was Josh. Josh Campbell said the reverse mermaid. Okay, excellent. Thanks, Frankly. There are multiple Earths. Yours is only one of them. And I refer back to an earlier image on a page where the kids are playing baseball. Well, this is a different version of them playing baseball, and a different one, and a different one, and a different one. And, and of course, it ends in cheese. It's very cheesy. This is fun to draw all these different kinds of Earths and mixed media on different papers. I think my favorite one's the anvil. Who is he that comes from who knows where? This is my take on your super vigilante characters and how that would actually go. And there's another example of somebody taking a photo of something weird when they see it in this page. Is that man undressing? But this is a fun one to do. I enjoyed doing this page. This was good times. This is Bad Luck Bill. Now, a whole bunch of people were involved in the suggesting this one. I did this as a live on Facebook, and people were just suggesting what's in the next panel, or put a tutu on the pig and make the pig have one eye and have it only eat shamrocks and or 4-leaf clovers and whiskey. So this was Bad Luck Bill. His luck never goes for him. So as soon as he figures he's got it made with a pig that can, it's lucky. It's a lucky pig, but he'll only give you his luck if you feed him whiskey and 4-leaf clovers. And of course, where are you going to find all those 4-leaf clovers? I like that Bill can't ride his horse. The horse, we get there faster. You let me ride you. No thanks. This is, I think Rachel suggested this one. This one is you have a friend. You got a friend with ADHD that calls you up, and every conversation ends with "never mind." So, what's more and more energetically distracted than a bunny? So that's why I did this page, and this was drawn in little scribbles in my my notebook where I write down all the suggestions. This is a 3 prompt. This is seagull, devil, coral, and I got in trouble from Rachel because she didn't see me drawing any coral reef. But I think it works. It's in the page. Here we go. It's a little devil riding on the back of a seagull trying to get it to poop on cars. And that was another Rachel idea. Make it poop on cars. Okay. This is a fun one to do. This is drawn in pencil and then colored and white pencil put in on digitally. Sloth versus sloth. This is done like spy versus spy. Chris Reamer suggested like 15 different sloth pages. And then Didi had suggested spy versus spy. So there's 2 birds, 1 stone. Anytime I draw sloth pages, there's a 2-page sloth piece in the first book. And that is my sloth pages end with them, everybody asleep. This is a Jim Lujan suggestion. It is a horse riding a bicycle playing guitar on top of a 4th dimensional parallax. So I framed it in the form of 2 surfer dudes trying to get some funding for their film idea. And then having me as the narrator interrupt and say, listen, the ideas you come up with during your recreation time might be nonsense to other people. And that's no comment against Jim. That's actually a comment against myself. I got to draw a horse riding a bicycle while playing guitar, though. Hey, cute. Look at the size of that nose. This is inside. I am screaming right now, was the suggestion. And so this is about... the suggestion for this one was existential spy agency. That's the suggestion for this page. Existential spies. So it's all about, I also place value in myself as an individual. So, yeah. And lots of fun having, now I'm full blown having fun and doing filters and screens and all kinds of stuff now. Some are good, some are bad. This suggestion here was stop listening to stupid people. So, it takes all kinds. So this was a fun to do. That's Trudeau. That's a giant, obnoxious Justin Trudeau. He's got great hair, though. Okay, so this suggestion is from the Kremlinator. This was an alternate reality version of the Artcasters. Oh, no, this was Jim. Jim Luan suggested this. Alternate reality version of the Artcasters. And so if you've watched the Artcasters with Scott Serkland, Corey Kerr, and Joshua Kemble, these versions that I did of them, including Gothic Scott Serkland, is the exact opposite of what their character really is. So Corey being a corporate shell is pretty much the opposite of Corey. So I'm not trying to be mean. And their show's called Art Casters, so I called it Creation Flickers. And that's a 2-page one. So this ends up with Bela Lugosi's first appearance. Yes! Yes! That's all he says. And of course, Josh would go, Scott's a god. Of course he would. This page is Scratch and Sniff, was the suggestion here. Let me think. Is that what this... Well, I'm trying to think what this suggestion... If this is your suggestion, let me know. This one is... Oh, no. Scratch and Sniff denominations was the suggestion for this page. Scratch and Sniff denominations for currency. And so I tried to set the page up so that it actually has little squares to suggest that if you scratch those, they'll smell like the things that are being described nearby. That's what this one is. This is fun to do. And this is biker. This is a 3-prompt. It's got bikers, tea. Oh, and symbol. That's the ba-dum at the end. That's the symbol. He scares the biker with his tea, spills his tea on himself. The Tour de France guys are riding on little girls' bikes with baskets. Gotta have the baskets. Where else are you going to put the water jug? This is a takeoff on vigilantism. The pages, the suggestion was cause and effect. So this is my version of Batman. And talking about, all these action, violent superheroes like Batman specifically are all escapist power fantasies. And of course, they're talking against those things. And at the end, they still have Grandma, be hypocritical about it. You kids can't get along and come over there and I'm going to, oh, Grandma. See, if I was going to record this page, I need to get my grandkids to say, oh, Grandma, like that. That's my version of Batman. This one's 3 prompts: kitty, vomit, and universal teleportation or something like that. Alternate universe something or other. So I have, this is another Corbin appearance. He vomits up a glob that turns into Captain Kirk and gets beamed back up to the Enterprise. The Vomit Universe Captain Kirk. If you're a big Star Trek fan, it's all in good fun, huh? And then, of course, there's a couple different commentaries in here, like, honey, looks like the cat threw up. Notice he's now running over to clean it up. Some fellas are like that. Okay, so there's a reappearance of Dr. Johansson, Corbell Johansson. So this is 400 years from now. This is some of the suggestions that came around from a random question that Jim Luan threw up about where are we going to be 400 years from now. And one of the suggestions was rocks. Rocks are going to become more... Cat and Pace said, scientists will try to convince people that rocks are interesting in 500 years. So that's what Dr. Corbell Johansson's trying to do. And the kids hate it. I hate field trips. Boring. It's the style of the day to put all kinds of dots and stuff in your face there. That's why it's still happening. Why is he still alive? Science! This is Life in a Day. This is suggested by Keith Morris. And it's about a person, a day-to-day snapshot of a person's life, like going through their birthdays or something like that. So the little baby eventually becomes the dad, whose baby then follows suit. And so the father and mother are sitting now with the son and his wife, and there's his baby running around. So, and it's just about, the progression of life. I'm not always silly. This is the music one, and the theme, the suggestion of this one's the Madonna lyrics. Music makes the people come together. Yeah. But this is Gorillaz, Tom York, Tom Waits, Ray Charles, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, Joey Ramone from the Ramones, Sato Kano. She did the soundtrack to Cowboy Bebop. Dr. John Cooper Clarke, one of the best poet laureate punk rockers ever, and Dizzy Gillespie. Dr. John Cooper Clarke haiku is to record a poem in 15 syllables is very diffi. So I really like Dr. John Cooper Clarke. Okay, this is a suggestion from the Crimblinator himself, Joshua Kimball, or Crimble, depending on who's talking. He plays Risk a lot, and so I made it as though this is one of the Risk worlds that he's conquered, looking at their glorious leader that is, rules their planet. And that's this is my favorite moment, the most risky game ever played. So there's 2 Risk references in this, but this was a lot of fun. This is another one of the 500 years from now suggestions. This is a suggestion to draw a page with my left hand instead of my right. And so that's what I did here, and I tried to incorporate that into the title. But the suggestion is a Victorian couple debating on whether or not they should kiss, drawn with my left hand. And I think that's one of those Jim Luan ones where he always tries to get me. So I did it. So if you look up these terms, right? I take comfort in doing the better at times. So this is the first one, or this is the second one I've got recorded, and I'm about to post as a short now. On the left hand, I do find the manson. Right? So it's a silly one. Victorians had a way with repressing their expressing of their affections. This is the first one we recorded as a short. Well, technically it's a Seinfeld one, but anyways, this is Bella Rocks. So I did this as though in this universe of vampires, Bela Lugosi is a rock star as well as being an actor. And if you go through that list of songs, Hot Blooded is the Foreigner rock song that I've got Bela Lugosi doing a duet with Josh Groban on. That sounds to me like the worst cover of a song you could have. And then, of course, the last song on that list is Close to You by the Carpenters. So this was a fun one to do. You'll find this in the shorts on the YouTube channel. And there's Focal Point Part 2. There's all the references that I put together for it, thinking I might do that as a page. And I just never did because, when you do the references like this is me trying this out. It's like, it's boring. It's here now. I feel like, why should I draw it when I've just put it together? This is why I never did it. That's the last thing. So since then, what we've done since is Hot Sauce Catfight. The story, Hot Sauce Catfight, then it's Phobia 1 and 2. This is what we put out for the weekend. And then today's that I'm about to post is Storytellers. So that's it, folks. That's, hey, we managed to do it in an hour 30. That's all the stuff we've got done so far. And I've got a bunch written down from today so that... I know it's not a very exciting episode for drawing, but it's kind of fun, all these things that we've been doing from suggestions and ideas together. This is the I've got to pick from these and how many are actually going to go into a book. And, you know, I don't see it. It's sort of like, hey, what's your favorite kid? There's, you know, it's hard to pick which ones to put in and which ones to take out. You know, there's one thing about being critical and another thing entirely about you don't want to leave things out. Like you don't. So does that mean I do a 100-page book? I don't know. But we've got plenty to choose from there. If there's anybody that has specific favorites, or if there's anybody that said, yeah, don't put that one in there, you know, feel free to do so. The next one that I'm going to be doing for tomorrow, I think we've got a few lined up here. We got Dinosaurs versus Denny's Bots and More, and by Jim Luan. He wants me to draw it in Gary's style. That's tricky. Gary's very good. Newspaper editor choosing the lead story, I think is really. I've finished this one. This is the six prompts. There's 3 prompts that are sitting there: Rat Oyster and Edvard Munch, and then Toucan Vines and Almond. And then today we've got the excitement of a grown man ordering a Happy Meal. I think that was who came up with that one. If you're still here, if you came up with a grown man ordering a Happy Meal, I'll try to scramble through and see if I can find who did that. Scanning, working. Yeah, that's well, I don't know where it is. It's got to be all the way back at the start. Well, you know. So, yeah, if it's you that suggested that, please let me know and I'll write you down for it. Fishes and Whales, Chris Kalu. One panel, one image, one word is Jim. Senior Citizen Showdown with Walkers and Wheelchairs is Rachel. Offering to the Hamburger Gods is Malcolm. Salty. Cat YouTuber, frankly. Anonymous has a Earth flooded with a bunch of reintegrated creatures. Science has decided will be a good idea and have a lot of robots on it. An overabundance, I think it is. Science will figure out the Luhan verse in 500 years. That looks really exciting to me. But I want to see if Jim wants to do that together. In 500 years, we will finally have figured out what came first, the chicken or the egg. And scientists will discover the gnome genome. If that was your suggestion, let me know. I wouldn't mind doing that one. That's a 500 years from now. Okay, so I think that tomorrow what I'm going to do, for tomorrow I will post a newspaper editor choosing the lead story right here. And that'll be our next one to do. And I'm going to do it using these pencils and some watercolor. Yeah, why not? Sure. That's what was nearby. So yeah. From all the ones that I showed you, those are all finished. And the one at the end is why I had it all set up, but I didn't finish it because I thought, hey, I'm really good at figuring out how to do, putting these ideas and these images together. Why don't I look at maybe formatting it together and then drawing it from that? But as soon as I formatted that second page of the car that crashes into targets, as soon as it was formatted and I looked at it, I went, well, now I don't want to draw it. So I won't be doing it that way again. But I just thought I'd show you that because I thought that was interesting, that looking at something that way, which is so fast and easy, actually that's a page that I didn't finish because it just sort of, it's done. And now to do it again, it just feels sort of boring. So, but other than that, that's the first 100 suggestions. And now we're on, today's will be number 105, but that'll be for the next volume. So, and whatever's left over from whatever we've already got. And then there's still a whole bunch more that I did in the portrait format that I've never put in anything. Frankly says that the gnome genome was Josh. Where's the book again? I'll write that down. So this is the craft paper that I've drawn some of these pages on. And I'll be doing, I think I'll draw whatever on this craft paper. So that's gnome genome was Josh. And I think it was Kat that said science takes a vacation to Peru. Can anybody confirm that? But I think that was Kat Kalu that had that suggestion. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, there's still outstanding ones like Corey as the ball in a Rube Goldberg machine, me versus the evil me, and then Jim and Gary as a top five Jim and Gary's, but that's a suggestion from Corey. Top 5 Jim and Gary's that they wouldn't do. Rachel has a elderly shoe try on. So I got a whole bunch here, and now it's kind of a nice place to be able to pick things and having this surplus of ideas. And, people, if there's ones that are of interest to you being done first, let me know, and I'll move them up in the queue. But I think I'm going to do Fish and Whales for Chris Kalu this week because I think it might be the first one that Chris has suggested. And I did Jose's virtual phlegm ball that lost. Oh, that's what that was. It wasn't a 3 prompt. It was a virtual phlegm ball that lost its way to reality and forgot its lunch money. That's what the page was, with the cat throwing up the sick and it becomes Captain Kirk. That was Jose Cabrera's suggestion. Sorry, Jose, I got that wrong. I thought it was a 3 prompt. That's why I was like, what would the third one be? Captain Kirk, maybe? Yeah. That was a fun one to do. That was a Jim Lujan level of complexity to it, which is now called the Cabrera factor. The Cabrera level. Okay, so Gnome Genome is Josh. So tomorrow's page will be newspaper editor Post-its. Post-its. We got Post-its. So newspaper editor choosing lead story. All right, that'll be tomorrow's, and then we'll be doing Fish and Whales this week. Maybe we'll do it like a Sharks and Jets thing. So we'll see. And that's Chris K. And then if anybody else has any ones that they particularly want to see done, let me know, and we'll do those. Yeah. Okay. So I don't have any real plans on the newspaper editor one. I haven't really thought too much about how I'll go about that. It really is just a case of, seeing, just trying something out and seeing what sticks. I think I want to have, do it in a similar format to the, Hey Kids Comics. That one was fun. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it on white paper instead. Unless anybody has a particular thing that they want to see me work on, like work in whatever style. Yeah, so I'll be around. I might be around later on tonight. I've had a off day, and I don't know how well I'm going to sleep tonight. And if I'm up, I think I'll do a stream tonight. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for that. It won't be until late. So, Rachel, we're doing your page for tomorrow. It'll be the newspaper editor choosing a lead story. That's what tomorrow's page will be. And I got these different colored, these are color erase pencils. They don't make them anymore, apparently. The company stopped producing them. Prismacolor, that's the company. Prismacolor, you know what you're up to. So I'm trying to find as many of these as I can because I like drawing with those. That's my preferred pencil to draw with, honestly. If I can't find them, so what? I'll draw with other things. Rachel, do you know who suggested? If Rachel, if you're back, do you know who suggested Science Takes a Vacation to Peru? I think it was Cat and Paste. Anyhow, okay, so that's the first 100 pages. Thanks for hanging out with that. I hope that wasn't a really boring stream today, but thank you, everybody, for all of these suggestions that have been coming in. I really appreciate the opportunity to work on things with other people. The thing about working from home and the stuff I'm doing in the mornings and all that, it's really kind of boring and isolating just sitting here doing stuff on my own. So I look forward to these afternoon sessions where somebody suggests an idea and we go for it. Yeah, it is cat and paste. Thanks, Rachel. I'll write it down. Yeah, so I really appreciate the input that people are giving, and if there is things that people want to collaborate on, let me know. If there is projects that people would like to get engaged with on their own, if there's any of those suggestions that I showed you today, any of those ideas that you like, go for it. Go for it. I would love to see your interpretations of the same things. And so when you got a 3-prompt like pyramid, cowboy, kangaroo, or pyramid, kangaroo, airplane, you're not going to do it the way I did it. You're going to do it your way. And I look forward to seeing that. So I really encourage people to, if you can remember any of the suggestions that I outlined today, to do your version of them. Oh my. We are exploring the depths of your mind. And then it says, now there is a 4-pager. It's 4. It's just 4 pages. We're not going to 5. Gary says, I enjoyed the mini retrospective. Have a great rest of the day, C. You as well, Gary. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And thanks everybody else for coming out as well. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun for me. I hope so for you. And again, if you've got more 1-page suggestion ideas that you want to throw at me, let me know. I'm always open to them. We'll put them in the book and get a crack at them as soon as we can. I know that it might seem slow for me getting to some people's suggestions because I only do 1 a day, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. All right. Philip says I was going to live stream tonight, but I've been called into work. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Philip, but I hope you have a good night at work. Put some Bee Gees on. Dance while you do your thing. All right, selling all. Goodbye to y'all. Oh, no, goodbye. Good to see you. Bye, all. I just shortened that sentence down. All right, everybody. Thanks very much for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll be posting the result for newspaper editor tomorrow morning. I'll be posting storytellers right after the stream is over. And we'll be having some more fun tomorrow. Tomorrow will be hardcore drawing session right off the top. So, all right. Thanks very much once again. And I'm going to sign out for now. And I hope to see you tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great day. If you've got stuff that you've been working on, you want to show it to me, let me know. I'd love to see it. Okay, bye for now.